Welcome to your first focus lesson, Find Your Calm, and specifically the module Breathing Clarity. This is the very first module of Clarity class, so let's help you learn how to focus now. This is what you're going to learn in this training video. First, we're going to talk about how your breathing style can help you stay calm under pressure, especially at exam time, or to help you calm your nerves before giving a presentation. Then we're going to discuss how you can use the power of breathing to stop feeling frustrated, stressed, confused and overwhelmed with your workload, and instead get in the right state of mind to get ahead and achieve top marks. Then we'll talk about the role stress plays in your life and how to prevent mind tension, worry and anxiety from ruining your true potential. Then finally, we're going to take you through a breathing exercise you can practice virtually anywhere you have access to your Mac, PC, smartphone or tablet device. This way you will always be able to commit your thoughts and actions to concentrate on anything, whether you're in the library, at home or travelling to and from college. So now let's just talk about why learning to calm your mind is so important to help you focus in the first place. We are all so busy these days that it can feel pretty easy to get stressed out, especially if you are studying on top of everything else going on in your life, whether it's work, family, travelling or fitting in time with friends. Let's face it, life can get complicated and at times hectic, even if you prefer to keep things simple. That's why trying to focus on one thing at a time can feel so frustrating. You know, life simply doesn't have to be a struggle, but it can be easy to get stressed out about work and study deadlines, overwhelmed with credit card debt, and having to remember to pay your bills on time. All this stuff creates a build-up of tension and stress in your mind, where you'll be continually worrying about all these things and find it hard to switch off and relax. It can feel hard to slow down. You often want to be everything to everyone, and it's common to push yourself to the limit to get everything done on time. You probably feel you get so wound up during the week that all you want to do on the weekend is let your hair down, have a few drinks, enjoy a music festival or go shopping with friends. And the digital world means you don't feel like you can physically switch off from anything. Even when you're trying to study in your bedroom, you're constantly distracted by the digital world. It feels hard not to turn on the TV, check your phone, not get distracted by Google, YouTube or chatting to friends. It's easy today for your attention to drift from researching for an assignment 1 minute, to then checking out a music site, to then looking at a fashion blog, to then checking your Facebook status, then replying to an email or text, without ever considering to refocus your attention and direct it on just studying so you can get the best possible results and reach your true potential. Having all this access to technology often means we feel like we must respond to everyone immediately. Often you probably don't really take the time to reflect on an email, think for long before replying to a text message or tweet. This feeling like we must stay connected and respond to everyone and everything instantly can really start to get mentally and physically exhausting, especially when you're trying to concentrate on getting good grades and staying committed to one thing at a time. To focus your mind, the first thing you need to do is unwind that tension from your head and that tight feeling in your heart, and you can do this by staying present and simply listening to your breath. Seems simple, right? Well, let's talk about how we breathe and how to focus while studying. Now, when you get stressed out, sometimes people may say to you, "Relax, darling, just breathe." But the thing is, even though you know you must be breathing to be alive, you're probably not aware of how you're breathing, even though we all breathe about 20,000 breaths each day. The key to focus your mind on one thing at a time is to stop thinking about the past and worrying about the future, and learn to remain in control and committed to living in the present moment. The easiest way to pay attention to the here and now is to listen and appreciate how you breathe. When you listen to how you breathe, you can begin to tap into your emotional state. Then you can begin to draw your mind back onto whatever you choose to focus on, instead of your wandering and distracting thoughts controlling where your time goes. By learning to use your breath to focus your mind on the here and now, the stress of deadlines become more manageable as you begin to take action one small step at a time, instead of letting fear and worry prevent you from moving forward. But unless you can create this calm state of mind first, it's important to understand that your level of attention will always be influenced by your level of stress. Unless you slow down and listen to how you're breathing, your thoughts and emotions will always be racing with a million things instead of what you can control in the present moment. By paying more attention to your immediate situation, you begin to gain more insight and perspective on how you see things, how you receive information, what you allow yourself to think about, and where you choose to direct your energy. So as you can probably tell, I'm pretty excited to be sharing this first module with you because understanding the power of breathing has really helped me, as well as many girls I know, achieve great mental clarity and get great results in all aspects of their life. Another bonus to understanding how you breathe is that it can also become your #1 mood stabilizer. This means that instead of reacting to feeling stressed out and overwhelmed and saying things you might later regret or listening to your negative thoughts, you can stay calm and keep perspective so you don't lose focus and lose control of where your head's at. Now, breathing might seem simple and obvious to you, but remember that you've probably never been taught how to consciously breathe before. You know that breathing just happens, but have you taken the time to understand the effect your breathing has on your level of thinking and how you handle stress each day? Probably not. So let's look at how you breathe in oxygen each day. Breathing is simply a cycle. Every time you breathe in, you invite fresh oxygen into your lungs and bloodstream. And when you breathe out, you release carbon dioxide back out to the world. This cycle of inhaling and exhaling is how your mind stays alert and focused. It's how every single person on the planet creates energy and can physically walk, talk, think, and function each day. So to center your mind, your body needs oxygen. Pretty simple, right? But did you know that your brain actually requires more oxygen than any other organ in your body? This is huge because what it means is that by breathing properly, you can allow more oxygen into your bloodstream and therefore into your brain too. When you breathe deeply, you actually increase your ability to think clearly and remain focused on completing that assignment, passing that critical exam, or tackling that 10,000-word essay. The importance of how we breathe has been studied for centuries, and one of the most practiced forms of guided breathing is found in techniques used in yoga and meditation. Practitioners of yoga and meditation refer to the power of the breath on the mind through pranayama, which is a style of breathing exercises that is specifically designed to keep the mind and body energized, aware, and fully present. But before we give you access to a diamond-focused breathing technique you can try for yourself, it's important to be aware of the 3 key factors that influence your breathing style: your emotional state, your physical state, and your environmental state. So let's begin to take a look now at your emotional state. Essentially, it's about looking at how your feelings affect your level of focus and ability to concentrate, and how to use your breath to help you stay calm under pressure. Okay, so we all breathe unconsciously. Think about it. You don't wake up in the morning and decide to breathe. It's simply part of what we do to function each day. Unfortunately though, what often happens while studying for an exam is that you put stress, pressure, and tension on your mind by thinking, okay, I must focus. And by doing so, you actually start to immediately block your ability to learn and retain concepts and new ideas, rather than helping to remain calm and digest the information. For example, say you're sitting in class listening to a lecture and then suddenly you start to think about the pressure of work. Your mind starts racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour thinking about everything you need to get done the next day, instead of just focusing on listening to what is being presented, taking notes, and remaining present and attentive to the ideas being taught to you. It's times like these you will be more likely to miss important information, lose sight of critical concepts, and get confused and frustrated because you have lost your focus and started to let your mind lose track of where you are and what you can pay attention to. What most students don't realise is that forcing focus into your mind is counterproductive and will only create tension and block your genius ideas and creative thoughts. Putting pressure on your mind basically stops your best ideas flow and your ability to intuitively connect the dots. So in order to focus, you need to first draw your awareness onto your breath and breathe deeply to allow your blood flow to circulate naturally through your mind and open up your brain's neuron paths to let your genius ideas out into the world. It's all about staying present, open, and receptive to new energy and ideas. I want you to take a little action now and place one hand on your lower belly and the other on your upper chest. Now just take a moment here to breathe in and out and start to notice which region of the body you're breathing from. Would you say you're breathing deeply from the base of your belly or maybe up higher closer to the top of your lungs? Most girls will naturally tend to breathe higher, closer to the top of the chest, especially if sitting at a desk or lecture. But just take a moment now to start to become aware of where you're breathing from. The point here is not to control your breath, just become aware of how you're breathing and feel the cool air as it enters your lungs through your nose and then how warm air is released out through your nose or mouth. Breathe in and out and really start to rest your mind within each breath. Now when we get stressed, we breathe differently. Our hearts start to beat faster and we tend to breathe in a shallow, short and sharp style to prepare to run from danger or distance ourselves from the cause of the stress. Our brain switches into fight or flight reactor mode. No one ever likes to talk about stress, but when we understand the role stress plays in our life and the effect it has on our ability to think clearly and rationally, we begin to gain an instant advantage. How so? Well, unless we take the time to acknowledge stress and the way our brain has developed to cope with stressful events, we will always lose focus as we fall victim to fear and its emotional hold on us, rather than being aware of how to stay in control of our mind and not let negative thinking limit our results. Let's take a quick snapshot of our brain to understand where stress comes from and how to prevent procrastination habits. The part of our brain that wants to focus and think successfully is our prefrontal cortex. This is the most developed part of our brain, and it is responsible for all our rational, analytical thought and language. It is the part of your brain that will remind you your assignment is due tomorrow, what areas of research you need to finalise, what subjects to concentrate on, and why it's important to pay attention in class to get ahead. It is the higher part of your brain that wants you to be successful, wants you to achieve good grades and experience amazing things in your life. The other part of your brain is your limbic system. This is the more primitive part of your brain that simply wants to play, get distracted, and be lazy, and not put any pressure on yourself and just take the easy road in life. The limbic part of your brain would prefer to watch another episode of Gossip Girl before studying or spend hours on YouTube before cramming for an exam. This middle section of our brain is more primitive and is often referred to as our lizard brain. This part of our brain will want to take a 5-minute break to check your Facebook status, but not understand where your next hour and a half actually went. So why is it that the limbic part of our brain always wins out when we're trying to focus? Why do we find the art of procrastination so much easier than the art of concentration? The answer lies in this deceptively cute part of the brain called the amygdala. The amygdala is the part of your brain that controls fear and anxiety. It's where we develop positive feelings like trust, love, and hope, but also negative emotions that help us procrastinate, such as fear, stress, and worry. It's also responsible for all of our daily habits, behaviour, and decision making, yet it has no room for rational thought. So, how does stress play a role in how we focus our mind? Stress is the human's instinctive biological response to coping with pressure under threatening events. When you get stressed out, the first thing your mind does is to focus on the fear, and your prefrontal cortex, the rational decision-making part of your mind, shuts down. This is why we procrastinate on studying. If all we tell our minds is, "This assignment is stressful," the primitive part of your mind will prevent you from studying as it doesn't want you to stress out, so it will allow you to relieve this stress by going on Facebook or watching TV. When you procrastinate, you are actually experiencing a mild anxiety response to threatening stimulus, and your mind sees that the easiest way to relieve this stress is to have fun, play games, socialize, and avoid deep, complex thoughts and ideas. If you're feeling stressed out, your mind will choose to direct its attention away from learning new information and concentrate on relieving the stress from your current environment. So to learn anything, you must first create positive, calm feelings so your mind is open and receptive to new thoughts and possibilities. To do this, you must control your breathing to tell your mind that you are calm, that you're not in danger, and that you're not stressed or threatened by your current environment. When you get stressed out, you breathe short, shallow, and fast breaths. This physiological response triggers your mind to worry and get prepared to run. However, if instead you recognize how you're breathing, you can begin to calm your mind and slow down your racing thoughts so that each breath is slower and deeper from the base of your stomach. This way you can stay focused and concentrate for longer periods of time. Basically, you must learn to train your brain to see learning as fun, not stressful, so that your mind stays open, receptive, and engaged. And this all starts with how you breathe. So our goal for you now is that whenever you start to find yourself becoming stressed out and on edge, anxious or overwhelmed, you will know why you need to breathe slowly and deeply to relax your mind and allow your concentration to flow naturally and effortlessly. To calm down your mind when studying, you must shift your instinctive and primitive survival response breathing style from a high, short, and sharp stress state to a more aware and engaged style by breathing in a longer, deeper, and more relaxed way. This will allow your mind and body to slow down, to gain clarity and create laser-sharp focus, to allow you to concentrate and direct all your energy with purpose and precision. Now let's take a look at your physical state. The more you pay attention to how your body physically feels each day, the more you can recognize key physical signs when you are starting to lose focus. So when you're feeling stressed out, anxious, nervous, or overwhelmed, and have a million things going on in your head, your breathing will easily start to become fast and shallow, where you'll often use your shoulders rather than your diaphragm to move air in and out of your lungs. The more stressed out you get, the stiffer your muscles will feel in this upper region of your body, particularly if you sit at a desk all day for study or work. When you're stressed out, you'll begin to feel tired and fatigued from the decreased circulation of blood, as less oxygen is travelling through your bloodstream as you're breathing short and shallow and only letting the minimum amount of air into your lungs. Lack of oxygen leads to the contraction of muscles in your body, where you'll start to feel tight in your arms, neck, chest, and shoulders. You'll probably crave a massage or start wriggling around in your seat. This is because movement in your body promotes better circulation and oxygenates your muscles. The good news is that you can begin to recognize when you need to concentrate more on your breathing by knowing what to look out for. It's all about understanding what your body is telling you and looking out for the key physical signs. Some of the key signs your body is telling you that you're not breathing in enough air include chest tightness. Your chest will start to feel tighter. Constant fatigue. You may feel tired, start yawning, or become easily distracted. Faintness and lightheadedness. You may start to feel dizzy or become easily confused. Feelings of panic. You may feel a sudden urge of panic or anxiety. Headaches. You may start to get a headache or really sore neck or shoulders. Insomnia. You may have trouble going to sleep at night and toss and turn more than usual. And muscle aches, twitches or stiffness. You may be wriggling around more than usual. So whenever you start to recognize any of these physical signs, you can begin to reclaim your mental focus by starting to breathe deeply from the base of your stomach. The good news is that when you are conscious of your breathing style, by deliberately mimicking a relaxed breathing pattern, even when you're still feeling stressed, you can automatically shift your state of mind and begin to calm your mind and body. And the best part is that by paying more attention to how your body feels and breathing deeply, there are amazing health benefits which can include lowered blood pressure and heart rate, reduced amounts of stress hormones, reduced lactic acid buildup in muscle tissue, balanced levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the blood, improved immune system function, increased physical energy, feelings of calm, and overall well-being. Pretty good reasons to start listening to your breath, don't you agree? Okay, so now that you know why it's crucial to breathe correctly, let's look at the third and final factor that will affect how you breathe and your level of focus: your environmental state. Have you ever wondered why some of the most popular travel destinations are places like the Maldives, Hawaii, Tahiti, and Fiji? Exotic and tropical locations like these have some of the cleanest air on Earth. If you've ever walked in a lush tropical rainforest, you'll know what I mean. How good does it feel to walk amongst the dense, natural ferns and breathe in the amazing, fresh, cool air into your lungs? Or if you prefer a beach holiday, there is nothing like walking barefoot on the cool, damp sand of the shore and breathing in that fresh ocean air into your lungs. The more time you spend indoors, spending hours at a time learning in lecture halls or studying inside classrooms and libraries, the less time you spend in nature and have access to this clean, fresh air. So if you're wondering why your body and mind often crave a holiday, the answer is not just to take a break from long hours of study and working to pay the bills, but also because you subconsciously crave quality of air. Think about it. For most of the year, you study and work in air conditioning and surround your body and mind with pollution, chemicals, air fresheners, and cleaning products. Whereas holidays in nature will make you feel more energized and revitalized as your body is breathing in high quality air. The natural environment gives you clean, pure oxygen that can easily help to revitalize your mind and body by circulating more oxygen into your bloodstream. The higher the air quality, the more oxygen your body will naturally want to breathe in, which helps your mind think clear, unpolluted thoughts. The quality of the air you breathe can affect your level of engagement, your ability to retain information, your serotonin levels, and your creative alertness. But clean oxygen can do more than just help you focus. A surprising but valuable fact is that breathing in clean air can also prevent life-threatening illnesses such as cancer. According to the American Cancer Society, scientific research shows that there is a strong, undisputable link between oxygen and cancer. In fact, an underlying cause of cancer is low cellular oxygenation levels. In 1931, Dr. Warburg won his first Nobel Prize for proving cancer is caused by a lack of oxygen respiration in cells. He stated in an article titled "The Prime Cause and Prevention of Cancer" that the cause of cancer is no longer a mystery. We know it occurs whenever any cell is denied 60% of its oxygen requirements. So what does this mean for how you breathe and focus your mind? Cancer cells cannot thrive in an oxygenated environment. So, by exercising daily and consciously deep breathing, you can help to get more oxygen down to the cellular level of your body and mind. This is why oxygen therapy is employed by the medical profession to destroy cancer cells. I don't have time to explore this in detail here, but it's definitely an area I encourage you to explore further, as it's a real eye-opener. So be careful not to overlook the value of clean air, especially if you spend a lot of time inside. The more time you spend in built-up urban areas like office buildings with restricted airflow and air conditioning, or driving to work in traffic pollution even with the aircon on, the easier it becomes to start shallow survival stress mode breathing, as the body instinctively inhales less air to protect itself from a build-up of indoor chemicals, dust and pollution. So it's vitally important to start to think about how you actually pay attention to the kind of air you breathe in every day. Are you constantly surrounded by traffic, buildings and roads, or trees, beaches and nature? Do you consciously make an effort to spend time outside during your lunch break from work or study, or do you tend to sit inside all day at your desk? Do you regularly exercise to allow extra oxygen into your body, or do you sit stagnate for hours at a time and limit the oxygen supply and circulation? Our goal for you is to become conscious of the air you breathe in each day. Find places and ways to breathe in more air and try and expose yourself to less pollution and chemical buildup to help your mind focus and your body function at its optimum level. Are there outdoor parks on campus where you can get a nature fix between classes? Make a conscious effort to step outside the air-conditioned spaces and give your mind clean, natural air to help your brain work at its full potential. Always remember you are only as good as your body that carries you through life, and that mind clarity starts at a cellular level. So it's important to apply the importance of breathing correctly by taking action so you can calm down the mind right now. You're going to download your PDF, that's the first step. Then you're going to press play on the breathing exercises within this interactive power sheet below. You're going to love these simple techniques, and they're great to refer to at any time of day when you feel you may be starting to stress out or lose focus. So get going and download and act on your power sheet now. I can't wait to hear how these techniques have helped to calm and refocus your mental energy. And then, coming up next, we're going to talk about how to actively listen so you can be aware of what to focus on.